great.
That'd be fresh.
That has a place in my dream garage somewhere.
Yeah,
okay.
like 4 or 5 rows down.
Yeah, like on the lift.
Yeah.
On lift number 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're Ford. You create cars. You don't create Mustangs. Like you make the Mustang, but you don't make Mustangs, Although it would be kind of cool if they did like what Tesla kind of does, where you have like a little video game in the screen or whatever. And so like you could just be parked and then just row through a sim gear on a Ferrari, right? Like that'd be cool. I respect him.
Yeah.
He's Johnny Lieberman. I mean, like if I were to be able to sit down with him and talk to him for an hour, I would definitely do that. You know what I'm saying? Like
for sure.
He's just a cool guy. That was the car. Like an M3 was the car.
Yeah.
So it's like the 3 Series in general it was the ultimate driving machine. How do you compete with that?
Yeah.
You don't.
All right, we're running it back for number 3.
3.
This is number 3.
That's number 3.
Yeah. We got all out octane in the house.
Thank you, Andrew. Vehicular Particular.
Vehicular Particular. I got merch. I've been staring at his awesome merch, which you can get on his website, alloutoctane.com.
Yes.
Anyway, welcome back, my man.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me. It's a delight. I really enjoyed the last one too, where we got to create a car company. So I'm curious to see what we can do to save the world this time.
Agreed. All right, we're going to see what we can do. What makes us as car enthusiasts love a brand? You're a Mercedes guy. You like a lot of American brands as well, and Japanese brands too. What makes us love a brand?
I think things like aesthetic appeal, obviously, as humans, we're very visual. So we're going to gravitate to things that we find aesthetically pleasing. I think experience with something, so like your first car or your first experience with a car, that can do that. You can get into like racing or a pedigree of some sorts. Like while you might not have a Supra, you have a Camry, but you can get the best. Guy. Yeah, you can get the best Camry that you possibly can. Yeah. Or you can get, an old Camry, or you can get an old Lexus. That's a great point. And go all those kinds of things. Yeah,
motorsport trickles down from M and Porsche GT products and all this stuff for sure. It's interesting to hear those takes because for me, one of the things that cemented my love for BMW weirdly was really positive experiences at a dealer servicing my car.
For sure.
And if you're purchasing a new or a used car, good experiences at the dealership. I will rule out a vehicle if the servicing experience and maybe working with the service team is not a 5 out of 5 experience.
That is a huge thing that I think a lot of people overlook.
Yeah.
If you're going to pick a car and you're going to keep it for the 100,000 miles, right? Do you want to be dealing with the dealer every time you go in?
At least 20 face-to-face appointments with these people.
Yeah, because you have that many oil changes at minimum.
Yeah, at the very minimum.
And so if you have tires that blow, or if you have, warranty work, like my uncle recently took in his Mazda for a very odd situation. His front seat stopped moving. And so it was that's kind of strange, but he took it in. They were very kind. They took care of it, and he actually sends me the videos when they do the little walk around, showing the brakes and all the things.
Those are the best.
Super helpful. Which kind of goes into a whole nother topic of independent shops versus dealers, because you kind of need both, especially when you start getting stuff off lease or things like that, or off secondary market. But where does that line kind of go where those dealers are really pushing out technology, like I said, walking around, checking the brakes, checking tires? You don't always get that at a mom and pop shop, but sometimes you get the honest truth at a mom and pop shop, which will, while hard to hear, might be you know what? Okay, I do need that tie rod replaced, right? Or that rear sway bar, lateral sway bar that I had in my Buick not that long ago. It's not great, but I have to kind of get that done,
That's a big deal, and I feel it can be a little intimidating sometimes for people to find an independent shop. You know what I mean? And then develop the trust with them, and then once you do, I feel that's a really valuable thing. And I'm still looking for my forever shop, if you will, where I can, you know what I mean?
I do.
So I feel it's a constant. It's a search.
It's tough, but dealerships, like I said, are always a safe bet though, because especially for the car, they know it, or at least they should know it.
Yeah, right. Most dealerships should be a safe bet.
Yeah,
there's probably some that
right. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, there's definitely some that are not.
Yeah. So speaking of dealerships, this is a good segue. So whenever I'm driving around, I pass a dealership. You're always looking at what they got on the lots. I'm thinking about what they have in the showrooms, because back in 2012 or 2013, like when the LFA came out, those sat on dealer lots in showrooms, right? They didn't sell out. Ford GTs back in 2005, same deal. Like they were sitting on lots, right?
Yep.
So you could have been driving around 2005, 2013. You'd see an LFA, you'd see a Ford GT, just like probably not on the lot, probably in the showroom.
Sure.
Is there a car that is in showrooms right now that they're struggling to sell, that in 15 years we're going to be kicking ourselves that we didn't scoop up, 3 or 4 of these things?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do. Especially the 3 or 4 part, because there's 2 kind of cars that come to mind specifically, both from the JDM market, the Supra,
yeah,
and the Z. The Z has just not been able to pick up the market that it should.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of think that Nissan is to blame for some of that, or most of it.
Yep.
But in that regard, the car itself is cool, right? It looks great. It's not that powerful, but it's also not a slouch. And it's the same with the Supra. That is a really cool car. I feel like that had a hot minute. We saw a bunch of them. People on the internet were modding them, doing all these things. And then they've kind of gone away. And I think BMW has kind of taken up that audience, right? Like I think they moved from Supras and they moved to BMWs. And I think it's because they're basically the same.
The B58.
Yeah.
Linkage
it's
and all
basically,
the parts
yeah. So I think people just said, well, why are we doing this to a Supra when we can just get a BMW and do the same thing? That isn't to say that the Supras aren't loved or anything like that. But I think very much like the Mark IVs, where those were just kind of, they were cool cars, but they kind of have gone like this, and now all of a sudden they are going like this. And I think when you even look at like the 350 and the 370, that has not reached a point yet where they're going to tail the Mark IV, but that day will come, and then that will just bring the 370 up. Well, I should say we should start with the 350. That will move to the 370, and then that will move to the Z itself. Those 2 cars, I think right now, which to your point, you could buy a couple of them.
Yeah.
Maybe sit on those. You might actually have a decent investment.
I think you're totally right about that, especially like an unmodified Z or Supra. Yeah, I can see that for sure.
Yeah, because otherwise it's very hard to say with some confidence what is sitting right now, because it's tough. A lot of product isn't moving because it's too expensive.
Yep.
So I had to start thinking about, like, in my head here, what is actually sitting on the lots that they can't move. And it's tough. Like I would say the Zs do, but they also don't. I don't see a whole lot of them on the road.
Well, I think they also just changed with the Z to a like built to order system.
Yeah.
Like they're not just like allocating.
They're not allocating anymore.
It's
right.
like if you have a customer who needs to like pre-order that. But
which doesn't sound good.
It doesn't bode well for them. No, it definitely doesn't. But like I think about the Z a lot. And like I would be thrilled to be driving around in the new Nissan Z.
It would be cool.
Right?
What color would you get?
The white looks good. Wouldn't even need the high trim. Like
sure.
The Nissan.
Yeah, I was gonna say just a basic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe like a base manual, like in white. I don't know. I think that'd be great.
That'd be fresh.
That has a place in my dream garage somewhere.
Okay. Like 4 or 5 rows down.
Yeah, like on the lift.
Yeah.
On lift number 2.
Yeah.
Yes. Somebody who you may not have like the utmost respect for, let's say, does the fact that they're into a car that you are into detract from the desirability of that car?
I think there's a really good question, because I think there's a lot of, I think in the automotive world, if you're into this kind of thing, you start to have like the cliques, the niches, like the personalities that certain cars sort of like bring out or are attracted to or appealed, right?
Yep.
And one of the ones that kind of like comes to mind for me is a Jeep. Like I really like the Wrangler. I like the Broncos better, right? And the Broncos don't really have that type of image in the car community world, and maybe even beyond the car community world, that a Jeep has, right? Mm-hmm. But that doesn't detract from the fact to me that a Wrangler is a very impressive vehicle.
Yeah, sure.
Right. And I think the hard part for me is like, if I were to buy one, I'm not that type of person who is stereotypically thought of to be driving that.
Mm-hmm.
But
You're
that
not going to have maybe ducks.
Right,
on
exactly.
the
I probably
dash.
won't. I might have like one because there's like a Hot Wheel
maybe
one.
you would.
But
Oh, cool.
But
Okay.
yeah, right. Like it would have to be very specific. And also the hard part is like you really can't stop that either. Like people give you ducks, right? So it's like I mean, I'd end up having a box full of ducks, right? Potentially. But that's also anyway, there's a long story that goes into all of that because most people give ducks for modded Jeeps, not exactly like stock. And I probably would just keep mine stock.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's very uncommon to see a Jeep Wrangler without stock wheels. So mine would probably roll on stock wheels. I would probably just be clean cut, right? Just a base Jeep Wrangler. But anyway, so besides that, but that doesn't mean that I don't respect any of that, or I don't want to be a part of it, or I don't, I don't want to sit and say that like I'm better. I would just be like, I'm not quite the stereotypical owner, but I appreciate the vehicle for what it is and does, and I respect it, which is why I would want to own it.
Amen. I feel like keeping it about the car is the thing, right? Like people like these cars because the cars are awesome. And so it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? And
I think that's the hard part too, is where a lot of, like 10 so years ago, where you had the muscle car people, and a lot of them are starting to move on, right? Like they're passing away, or they're not able to bring out cars. And so we have a different generation sort of picking up that torch. Are you part of that group? Well, I don't know if I would be part of that group, but that doesn't mean that I still don't want the car, right? Like I would appreciate the car for what the car is. So I think you're right. It's definitely car.
Yeah.
It's make it about the car, and everything else just falls into place.
See, that's how I know I would respect a person as that's real car enthusiasm is keeping it about the car and not about what does it say about me or what I'm trying to you know what I mean?
I do.
Show off to the world.
I do.
I don't really love that part of it. So Ferrari has come out on their 12 Chili, the Manuale, right? The simulated manual transmission, right? On their naturally aspirated V12 Grand Touring supercar, whatever you're going to call it, right? We have throttle by wire. We have brake by wire. We have steering by wire already, right? These are things that exist in modern cars. This manual transmission by wire, right? It's like a simulated manual transmission but you are using it to shift the gears in the car. Do you think this is a good direction for car companies to go? Or do you think that new cars is this an example of becoming rolling racing sims on wheels?
I don't want to say it's bad because we have a whole racing sim generation that's playing games and doing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so if the evolution of either motorsports or driving in general, that still gives you some sort of interaction beyond just holding a steering wheel and pushing a pedal, if that's able to be done and people enjoy it, I think it can work. The question will be we're seeing it from a very expensive brand here that's trying to, I think, maybe do it for the wrong reasons.
Interesting. What are the reasons?
They don't want to actually build a manual.
Oh, so they don't want to spend the money on development costs and all that?
Well, they've already done it. I think that's the problem is I think I don't know if they want to do it because it's more just, you can't quite interface the same way probably with what they have in the car going on electronically to put in a manual without getting too far into the weeds. It would be so primitive. And that's not what Ferrari's doing right now. They're going way the opposite direction. So they kind of have to go this way. It would be interesting to see if there would be a take rate on something like a Nissan or a Toyota Supra or something like that. If there was shift by wire, where you can still be engaged but not actually shifting per se,
it's so weird to think about.
It is. I mean, and I think the other thing is at that point too, are we doing it for the engagement, or are we doing it for nostalgia? And like I said, I think that's where Ferrari's also like, I think they're doing it slightly for the wrong reasons. They're going for nostalgia, not for exactly the experience.
Yeah.
Because you can interact with it, sure. But like, I mean, I would imagine, this is just my take, I would imagine you could probably hit a button, turn all that off, and you could just play with the lever. You know, like your 5-year-old can sit, you know, and just play with the lever while dad's driving. And as long as you don't hit that button that says manual shift, you're fine. Right. So it's like, it's just a button. But I don't know if it's exactly bad. I think as a car enthusiast, we kind of have to be open to some ideas to try to see if we can get a level of engagement back, or like enthusiasm back from, again, a nostalgia standpoint. How we do that, it might have to be electronic, but we can see, you know, in the future what it might hold. Again, it's just really hard to know at this price point. That's just a car that we can't quite fathom to experience. So it's going to be hard to know. Although it would be kind of cool if they did like what Tesla kind of does, where you have like a little video game in the screen or whatever. And so like you could just be parked and then just row through a sim gear on a Ferrari, right? Like that'd be cool. You can do that kind of stuff with electronics. You can't do that with a manual.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's tough to see, but I don't want to just gut check and say, no, let's not do it. I want to see how Ferrari does, and then maybe somebody else will try it and we'll see where that goes.
I'm with you. I think that in the sense that like they're trying to add engagement, right? I mean, I think that's part of what they're trying to do.
It's definitely part of it. It has to be part of it.
I can appreciate that like an OEM is trying to like add engagement when it's clearly difficult with like regulations and
it is
the current direction of their like strategy for their powertrain and all how they're designing their vehicles and all this. But like,
and also just, I mean, if you think about it too, the timing of that when it the Luce and then, hey, look, we're making a manual.
100%.
Yeah, like sure. Yeah. You had that in your pocket. You were just not wanting to use that until you saw how this went.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. So I think Monterey Car Week is happening like tomorrow and
Soonish,
Thursday and Friday. Is this like an event that interests you? Would you want to be there?
I would love to be there. I've always thought about going. I know it's getting more expensive. I think like
it's getting crazy.
$500-$700 just for the day, I think. And if you want
if you
more,
can find a place to stay.
Right.
And like,
correct.
And there's sit in traffic for 2 hours everywhere you go.
Yeah. I would probably be, if I were to do it, I would probably try to find something obviously a year out and just plan that, you know what I'm saying? Plan that whole thing and then just literally walk. I'd be walking. I would definitely it would definitely be a vacation with me and my wife because I wouldn't want to go out there without her, but it would definitely be at least one day of me just letting her stay at the Airbnb and I'm just hiking. You know what I'm saying? I am walking.
Yeah. That would be quite a content like series for YouTube. Like I went out to Car Week and like hiked from event to event.
You honestly could just get plenty of content doing that. Yeah. I mean, that's how a lot of the original YouTubers started. I'm not really sure like who's unveiling what there. I'm sure Bugatti's got their one that they might have that looks like the Bolide, but it is the Bolide.
Exactly right. Yeah.
They have the Bolide, but the street version of it, I guess, is
it's like the lowest Bugatti they've ever made based on the Bolide, but it's a road going version. It's supposed to be like this rolling piece of art compared to the track weapon of the Bolide. That thing's probably just incredibly ridiculously like amazing. I wonder who's the person who's buying that car. You know, like the one-off Bugatti.
Yeah.
Who's buying that? Who's the person who gets to own that?
Probably somebody who already has multiple. You know what I'm saying? Like for a while, there was a guy named Dan. I think Stradman used to go to his place all the time, and he had the three Bugattis.
Okay.
The three Zondas.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of person who would probably pick up a one-off Bugatti. There's actually the Stradman went to years ago. He went to the guy who owned the Bolide.
Okay.
I think there's more than one of those. I think there's a few of those.
Yeah, there are.
And there was a gentleman who owned the Bolide because that was one of his most popular videos, the Stradman's videos of taking my driver's test in a Bugatti. The son of that owner went to take his driver's test in a Bugatti Chiron, and in the garage was the Bolide. So somebody like that.
Yeah,
I don't know who they are, and obviously I think somebody like James, the Strapman, if he can sleep in his car, and do all this and work his way up, I think, we're all looking for a goal of someday being able to kind of do this, and not maybe even to that level. Like, I don't even know if I'd want to be at James's level per se, but like to be able to kind of comfortably do this as an enjoyment factor or something that I can at least put a little more time and effort into would be the ultimate goal at this point.
Strapman's definitely an icon for sure. Another guy that I look up to a lot is Shmee 150.
Yes.
I mean, say what you will about him, like he works really hard. Like he's a great work ethic, and like he's sort of turned into like, we only have so much time in the day to like consume content. We have our lives going on, but like Shmee's videos are kind of like can't miss, like must watch for me these days. I also watch a lot of Doug DeMuro, like just because he's Doug DeMuro. But who would you say are like your top? I know you like Strapman a lot.
Yeah,
and Cletus, right?
Cletus, yeah, Cletus is big. Cletus, Strapman, Doug DeMuro.
Yeah,
those would probably be the three that I probably do watch the most of. But I do a lot of Shmee 150. I do a lot of VinWiki, Hoovy. I do some NASCAR podcasts too and stuff. Eric Esep, he does Golly Day, Out of the Groove. It's a NASCAR show. He does a daily thing about NASCAR. So I keep up with a lot of that. Those would probably, like I said, kind of be the ones that I do watch the most. But I mean, there's obviously all the other ones. There's so many good channels.
There's so much content. It's like so hard to stand out, I feel
like.
It
is.
And you can only, how much of your day can you devote to like, what I mean? Listening to a podcast, whatever, but
it's tough.
So you try to pick the good ones, and I try to pick something that's like maybe a little educational, a little informative. Yeah. You know what I mean? Maybe learn something.
Yeah. The ones I feel bad that I don't really do, are like a smoking tire. Like
you're not into those guys?
It's not that I'm not. It's just like you said, I only have so much time in the day.
Yeah.
So like I've kind of just picked my few that I really like, but I do wish that I like listen to, and sometimes even like plane flights. That's what I'll listen to. It's like something that I don't always listen to because I'm on a plane flight. I might as well try something different, right?
I need something else. Yeah.
But there's a lot more people that I try to at least once a week or once every 2 weeks try to dip into something to kind of catch up where somebody's at. Yeah. Because I know Throttle House is really good
Throttle House is another one.
There's just so many. Marquise Brownlee is now because he does a lot of the auto stuff. Yeah, that one I've been interested in.
Harry's Garage?
Oh yeah. He's cool too.
Yeah, he's good people.
Thankfully, Instagram exists, and I can follow some of those periphery ones on Instagram. Yeah. That way, I don't have to watch the whole long.
That's form. A great way for sure. And you don't want to like spend like 20 minutes watching video. Johnny Lieberman's been growing on me lately. I don't know how you. He's a little divisive, but.
Because he also does he? No, he doesn't do The Inevitable.
He does.
No, he does.
Okay, he's also on Spike's Car Radio.
Yes, yeah.
He's like everywhere. That's what I like about him. But
I mean, he has a very long history in this industry.
He does.
So I mean, like, I respect him.
Yeah.
He's Johnny Lieberman. I mean, like, if I were to be able to sit down with him and talk to him for an hour, I would definitely do that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
He's just a cool guy.
Do you watch Savage Geese ever? You know those guys?
I am aware of them. Okay. I haven't watched a lot of them though, but I am aware of them. Yeah.
I think they do. They're kind of nerdy, which I like.
Yeah.
And they're always on the engineering side of things, which to me, it appeals to me. Okay. Last time we did some rapid fire.
Yeah.
Which I think was great. You down to run it back on the rapid fire?
I'll give it a whirl. Let's go.
I can give it a whirl. Let's start with the worst naming schemes in the car industry. Who has the worst names?
I hate saying this, but Kia.
Kia?
I literally I can't think of a Kia name other than like the Kia Soul, which I think they're getting rid of now. Like the K9.
The Stinger was cool.
Stinger was cool. Yeah, the Stinger was cool. Don't get me wrong with that. That one was cool. But like, what other Kias? I can't.
Yeah, there's like K4, K5.
K4, K5.
Telluride, Sorrento, Sportage.
Yeah. And I think the reason why I say that is like they're too mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do a nomenclature and a name and have half your brand be both.
Agreed.
Like,
you can't mix K4 and then the crossover that's based on the K4 or whatever is like the Sportage, right?
Yes.
Or whatever that is. Yeah, I agree with that. Okay, fair. All right,
what about you?
Mine's Audi. It's not just because like I feel like as a car enthusiast you have to like have a brand or two that you don't love. You know what I mean? It's just human nature. Audi, unfortunately, to anyone who's an Audi fan, I respect you. They're just not the brand for me. And I hate the way they name their vehicles. I can't figure out what's what. Like Q4 each. Like, I don't know what they're doing. Like, what are they doing?
It's really funny you say that because that was actually going to be like my first one. But I was like, no, I think Kia is more confusing. No, I mean, not more confusing, but like, but I really did. I was like, oh, Audi is so hard.
It is.
Audi is so hard.
I study this stuff on a daily basis, and I don't understand.
It makes me feel so much better.
I don't get it.
Yeah. I'm so glad you said that. Yeah, okay. You make me feel so much better then too. I will back you up on that.
Audi, right?
Audi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
for
great.
Sure.
We nailed that one. Okay. Let's see. Favorite. This is an impossible question. I'm going to ask you. You're the man for this one. All right. What's your favorite exhaust note? Favorite car exhaust sound?
Coyote 5.0.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why, but that is. I think maybe it's just from listening it to headsets of watching YouTube videos for eons and hearing that sound.
Yeah.
But it resonates with me for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but that's it.
Is that in the Mustang GT?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The 5.0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the 5-liter Mustang is definitely either 1 or 2 for me. I love listening to those things drive by. I also heard a 458 Speciale the other day.
Ooh.
And it I'll never forget. It like is still echoing around the trees for me right now. Like I heard that and I was like, oh my God, I kind of am getting why that's like a $1 million vehicle. Kind of.
Yes.
But
yeah.
I mean, the sound
that's such that particular Ferrari they knew what they were doing with that one.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing with that.
It may have had an exhaust on it. I don't know. But
it's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, speaking of Ferraris, are you in the camp of the C8 Corvettes? Z06, ZR1, Grand Sport, all the good ones, even, Stingray, or are you Italian exotics? Which camp are you in? Which would you rather have?
I personally would probably pick the Corvette.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Corvette's probably not going to appreciate.
No, they're making
even the ZR1X. It's not going to
because they're going to make a lot of them.
Yeah. Yeah. They're going to make a lot. They will over a long time, but I mean, some of these Ferraris, they're like, the Maranello from like 2002 or whatever.
You like that one?
Yeah, that's like I said, that's a $500,000 car. Like,
it's wild.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd probably pick the Corvette though, for sure.
If you could pick one color and all your cars now and future had to be one color, what color are your cars?
Red, some shade of red.
Red?
Yeah. My wife and I both like red, and so I think the red palette is diverse enough that you can kind of cover a bunch of different vehicles for the shades and hues that you need them to be in. Like my wife, like she really loves her torch red Mustang, right? But if I were to get like like an SRT8 Jeep, I really liked the one from like 05, 06 with that kind of brighter red, almost like a torch red as well. But nowadays they kind of have that darker red to them. Yeah. Like almost like a purplish maroon. Yeah. Or cherry. Yeah. Cherry. It's a great way of saying it. That looks so good to me. So it's in that red family.
Red's good.
I always wanted the red Dodge Ram. I like the Walker Texas Ranger style, except I wanted a red one growing up. So red being my favorite color, probably I'd put it in the red family. That is tough though, because I also really do like blue cars but I wouldn't pick that as my first, which is why I said red, because blue kind of is more specific to me in terms of like the interior. I would want to have like a brown interior with a blue. I think that looks very luxurious. So blue cars are great looking, but I would probably red. I could do the tan interior because you can do the hues of tan. You can also do grays and stuff. Again, you can do it with any color, but red is versatile enough to go on a lot of different vehicles and still look really, really good.
Yeah.
And again, blue could too. It would be my probably second. What about you?
So green is my red.
Okay.
But my number one, like if it's going to be a color right now, I'm into green. But my answer would have to be gray.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid. Like, I know people are like, it looks like primer and people are sick of gray cars.
Sure.
But like, dude, I'm into them and they look good.
They look really good.
I like gray cars.
I'm assuming then too, based on what you're saying, is you're liking the grays that are not just like the silver that gets tossed onto, like, you're like the Avalanche gray from Ford.
I love Avalanche gray.
Avalanche is such a good color. Yeah. Such a good color.
Good example of one that I like. Yep. I like Brooklyn gray from BMW. I like all the grays.
Yeah. The grays in this time period have been some of the best grays we've ever seen.
And a lot of people hate on it because like you see a lot of them. But I think there's a reason, because like popular, like Porsche chalk.
Yes.
To me, that might be like my favorite color of all time. And I know that's very like, it's an obvious choice, but I just love a chalk color. You know?
Anyway. It's a great, I love that choice.
Yeah.
Because eventually grays will stand the test of time.
I think so too. As will reds. To be a true car enthusiast, do you have to be a fan of motorsport?
No, I don't think so. I think a lot of people, can be, and they are, but I don't think you have to be, simply from the aspect of like, cars can be art. So you don't always have to be like racing them to necessarily have them be something that you can be interested in and appreciate, and of like, especially if you look back on a lot of like the Duesenbergs and like cars from like the brass age and like the golden age of stuff like that, you can really get into like an art. And there's I'm friends with people on Instagram and stuff who have varying degrees of interest in the automobiles as well, even in die-casts and other things. But like, it's fun to watch what they like through their eyes, because they do see it more as art. And so like they really love a certain car, or in die-cast, they love a certain die-cast because of the way it's designed and like who designed it and like how they decided the paint colors and all these other things. And I'm like, that's really fascinating. So I really enjoy their passion, even though like it could go out and run the 24 Hours of Le Mans tomorrow and they wouldn't care. They wouldn't even have a clue of what that is, right?
Yeah.
But they love the car. So, or they love, like I said, like the brand kind of thing, like we initially started talking about.
Yeah.
It's interesting to look at some of the racing cars. So let's like look at it from a different angle. Like the Mazda 787s and stuff like that. And then we had just recently I think it was the 587 or something that burned down. Did you see the video?
No.
Oh yeah, you should look that up.
A Mazda race car?
Yeah, it was getting ready for the Monterey Car Week, and because they have like the vintage racing like a few days before, so it's out in California at that event, and there was like some fuel spill and it caught fire.
Oh boy!
And so a lot of people are like, yeah, that's not good, but it was not the 787, which I think would have really hurt a lot of people's feelings.
Okay.
But let's take it from that perspective, right? Like that car, when it raced, it was obviously cool. People liked it, but it became something. And then now as time has progressed, it's probably become more than it ever actually was. And again, that's not taking away from its like pedigree or what it actually did. Yeah. But like, in modern racing, we have cars that are absolutely destroying old records in certain things, right? And nobody thinks anything of it. They still love this old Mazda 787, right? So it becomes something beyond just like we were saying, like the racing or the pedigree. It becomes like an art. It becomes like an icon. It's a cultural icon beyond just the racing. It's like, that is Mazda. Mazda made this thing in a certain time frame, in a certain era, and that's a cool thing to capture and like. But you don't have to be a fan of racing to necessarily like the car, because I mean, I don't remember that car racing. I was too young.
I wonder if it had success, like if it won or lost. But
yeah, it did. It won quite a bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's super interesting. Cars are like a snapshot of a place and time in history too, right? And that's one of the, that's fascinating. I like that a lot. I think about entire product, like evolutions. So like when I say that, I mean like the Corvette from C1 to C8, right?
Yeah.
Or like Mustang from first gen to like S650, like the evolution of a car from the first gen to the current gen, right?
Sure.
What would you say is your favorite like model evolution from start to finish?
That is such a tough question.
Oh, it is.
It is. Okay, it's a very tough question. Oddly enough, like I thought about the C8 Corvettes or the Corvette, right?
Yeah.
I thought about like the Mustangs, Camaros, obviously. Those come to mind probably most because they've been around long enough to kind of have that lineage where it separates out. You can concretely say like this is a C1, a C2, a C3, right? BMW has that a little bit. It definitely started with like probably like the late 80s where they started having the 3s, the 5s, the 7s, and it made it a little easier to differentiate that lineup. And then we've had all of those iterations since. Also amazing cars. I think my answer would actually be really odd, as you've probably come to know me. I have some odd answers. The Suburban. The Suburban is like one of the longest running nameplates in American history. It goes back to like the 20s, I think. And it has a lot of iterations, but has always captured the same thing correct every time. Like it always delivers every time. It's a big 4-door American SUV. And it's always been that. It didn't matter from, I mean, and again, you have to put it in perspective in like the 20s when it came out. It wasn't big in modern terms, but it was bigger for that back then. And then you just carry that 4-door like base all the way through till today. It's just an icon in my opinion. I would say like the square body ones from the 70s and 80s, those are really cool. I think a lot of people are into those right now. I really like the OBS style from 88 to 98 in that ballpark. Any action film back when we were kids had those, you know what I'm saying? Cause like the president would, have his motorcade and it had a ton of Suburbans, you know what I'm saying? So like,
awesome.
It's lived a long time in order to kind of have iterations that have kind of just stood the test of time, but it's probably the one that's also changed the least. It's still a big 4-door SUV. It hasn't like gone through a Fox body stage or a mid-engine or anything.
Right.
It's still a Suburban. Huh. It's really odd.
No,
but
that's awesome. Would you put the Chevy Suburban in the category of, I guess it needs to be added, S-tier vehicles?
Yeah,
right?
I would actually put it in S-tier.
You would?
Yeah, I would probably put a Suburban in the S-tier.
I think it's got to be added. So I think of S-tier vehicles. I'm trying to get a list together.
Sure.
They're like beloved. They've been around for a while. Like basically, I just can't imagine as a car enthusiast, like not having these generations of these vehicles, like the 911, the M3, to me, the 4Runner, G-Wagon. I don't know, it's kind of like and Mustang and Corvette, obviously, it's kind of like a subjective list, I guess. But so I'm going to add Suburban to that list of S-tier vehicles. What else needs to be on this list?
I think you hit a lot of the good, solid ones initially. Like you said, Corvette, Mustang.
Would you put Camaro on there?
I don't know if I would.
Okay.
And the only reason is because they took a break. Same with Dodge and the Chargers and the Challengers. It's hard to. They're great cars, but I would probably, it was a S tier below S tier's like A tier.
Yeah,
they'd probably
A-tier.
be more on like A tier.
Okay.
I think it's just, again, not because of what they couldn't accomplish, but more because of like when you're comparing them to a Mustang, that never went away. Even in dark times, it never went away. Something like the Corvette never went away. When you start to put it that way, it does make S tier look more about longevity. But I think when you can get into like kind of almost like BMW, because you're a really big BMW fan, you could toss a 3 Series, like especially like the M3, into an S tier.
Probably would be 3 Series instead of just saying M3.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say because just a 3 in general. Yeah.
That's probably true.
I like that better because I'm like, you could say the M3, but like the 3 in general is what that car was, and it's basically iconic. I know it's
Agreed.
not as long as like a Camaro or, a Challenger or a Charger, but from when it started till now, it has done incredible things for that brand, especially in the American market, that it's like, if it's not S tier, it's definitely A tier competing with them, with a Camaro or with a Challenger.
My man, next pod, I'm going to have the list.
Oh, okay.
Right here. Okay. I'm going to add to it.
We'll just start putting.
Yeah. We're going to start.
That sounds fun.
Okay.
All
right. Good call on the 3 Series. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
that was like before I got, like I said, before I was into Cadillac and before I was into Mercedes, I was a BMW guy. And so like, that was the car. Like an M3 was the car.
Yeah.
So it's like the 3 Series in general was it was the ultimate driving machine. How do you compete with that?
Yeah.
You don't. So.
Did you see that there's a new 4-door Mustang?
I have. Yeah.
I don't know if they've ever released any like actual images of it, but apparently Ford like met with dealers and like let them know that like 4-door Mustang is going to be coming out. And it apparently looks like a Panamera, which I know
I've heard,
you like that.
I do like the Panamera.
That could be sick, right?
It would be really cool. I am not opposed to a 4-door muscle car. I don't like the Ford Mustang name being used.
Okay.
It's getting to the point for me where, and I know we've talked about this at another podcast, so if you haven't listened to that one, go listen to that one. But naming things is really important, and I don't like how we're capitalizing on a name like the Mustang. You're Ford. You create cars. You don't create Mustangs. Like you make the Mustang, but you don't make Mustangs. I mean, can we get no offense, can we get away from the horses? Like we have the Bronco and we have the Bronco Sport. Now we're going to have the Mustang Mach-E, the Mustang 4-door. Like what? What are we doing? Like,
they're running out of names.
I mean, bring the Falcon back or bring the Commodore or something like that. Like bring over names from other countries that cars we didn't have, but we can make it work here potentially. It still can be a Mustang styled or inspired. I'm not against that. Like the Mach-E, it looks good. I mean, it's not the worst SUV in the world. It looks okay. Yeah. But the fact that you just put the Mustang badge on it, it's like, you guys, you could have thought a little harder. Yeah. To be honest, I'm surprised it's not a Bronco. I don't know why they didn't go that route.
Bronco Mach-E or even just the Ford Mach-E or something.
A Ford Mach-E.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think about that.
100%. That's
every
all it
time
should have been.
I see one, I'm just like, Mustang, come on. Yeah. But I actually do think that's a cool vehicle. And especially the Mach-E Rally version, which is like slightly raised. It's not like a crazy off-road performance, but it has some wheels and tires on it. Like, I don't know. I think that's a neat car. But
it is. Yeah.
If All Out Octane were going to put on a car show or a car event, what would it be called? And what would the 3 vehicles that you would bring out or get out to headline the event be?
Headline. Oh, okay. I haven't quite figured out a name. That's a great thing. And like I said, I love naming things, but I have yet to actually name something on the show.
Fuller
because
Independence.
Yeah, the Fuller Independence was a good one, actually.
A great one.
It would probably be something like All Out Octane Ignite. And it would be, I would probably put 3 cars that had a very wide net with a lot of appeal. So I'd want to go something exotic. And after seeing the 300 SL at Fastlane the last weekend, that's tough to not put in the exotic part because it's a really iconic car.
Yeah.
But something that can draw in attention like a Bugatti or a McLaren, a high-end. There was a Revuelto at Fastlane this weekend too. Like, so something that can pull in that direction. Probably, obviously, most of those are European, so I'm going to cover the European aspect with a car like that. I'll probably put something like a Mark IV or something JDM Skyline of some sort as like my middle second car.
Yeah, and
then the third one would be American, but it would probably be like C10 because I don't want to go muscle car. Because then you kind of start to isolate. It's sad saying that, but like you start to like isolate out like people who don't like those cars, right? Like
No,
a muscle
dude,
car.
I love the thought.
But
Yeah.
a C10 is slightly muscle. It's American. It's got a huge following right now. People love trucks. So you get truck people, you'll appeal to the muscle people with the C10. You cover a lot of basis of having those three on display as like headliners.
Yeah.
As we kind of have concluded in this podcast, like it's about the car.
Yeah.
Right. Like I want to bring all the people together because I find all the cars cool.
Yeah. Same.
I do like certain ones. I have preferences. I'm human. I like certain ones better than others. I'll admit that. But that doesn't take away from the fact that I can't appreciate another car, even if I don't like it. Right. So it's like, it's not that I don't like it. It's just, it's not for me. I don't know. And the funny part is my list of cars that I would want to drive, like I've mentioned before, if I could have like 20,000 where I just, every year I flip a car and go into another one. I mean, I would be set for life switching out cars because there's so many that I want to try.
Yeah.
So I'm not biased.
It's always a pleasure, man.
Oh yeah. Andrew, thank you
for running
so much.
back. We're going to have to keep an eye out for, the tier list coming soon, and we might have to run it back for a part 4.
That'd be cool.
Okay.
Let me know.
All right, dude.
Appreciate it.
Brentton from All Out Octane. Thanks for watching, everybody.
And I'm like, I just see this like car turn, and it's convertible, and I'm like, that's a Z1. That's what?
Damn,
like
awesome.
what?
So
I
cool.
did not expect to see that. Don't see those every day.
No, I've never seen one, but it's interesting. Those cars, they designed it to be like a momentum car, and like they designed it to not have like crazy sound and to like,
oh really?
Yeah, the way that they designed that car was to like you didn't hear it coming, but like I don't know. I was watching a video like the Haggerty, Jason Camisa video on it.
I haven't seen that one yet, so good, I'm definitely gonna have to go back and watch.
Check it out. It was
because that sounds fascinating.
Yeah. Those are the type of cars I'm into these days. Is a little different, not like necessarily don't have to be the loudest or the fastest, but like what makes them interesting. Anyway, we're gonna get to that. I got a lot of questions.